Hello everyone, welcome to my channel Tripura's Grammar Hub. Let's learn about active and passive voice. Let us know what is active voice first. If a doer or subject performs an action, it is called active voice. Doer is given more importance here. Let us see what is passive voice. If an action is performed by doer or subject, it is called passive voice. So here, object is given more importance. Let's see few examples. The potter makes pots. This sentence is there in active voice. Here, subject is the potter who makes the pot. He is given more importance. Whereas in the second sentence, pots are made by potter. Pots are given more importance and placed in the first. And potter is given less importance and placed at the last. So this sentence is said to be in passive voice. They made the task successful. Here, verb is made and they is the subject and the task is the object. In this sentence, they is given more importance. That means subject is performing the action and it is active voice. And in the second sentence, the task was made successful by them. Here, the task was given more importance than that of subject they. Then this sentence is said to be in passive voice. Now, let us know how to change the sentence from active voice to passive voice. What are the changes we are going to do while converting from active to passive voice? Subject in the active voice sentence will become object in the passive voice, whereas object in the active voice will become subject in the passive voice. And tense of the sentence does not change. So when we are converting from active to passive voice, we should not change the tense of the sentence. And we would see a word by, by, in the sentence that is there in passive voice. That means when we are writing in passive voice, word by is a must. Let us see few examples how to convert from active voice into passive voice. The workers carried heavy load. Here, the workers is the subject, carried is the verb and heavy load is the object. In the passive voice, heavy load will become the subject and the workers will become the object. So the heavy load was carried by the workers. We used was here because the sentence is there in the past tense. The teacher gives explanation. Here, the teacher is the subject and explanation is the object. This sentence is there in active voice because the person who is performing the action, that is, the teacher, is given more importance here. Whereas in the second sentence, explanation is given more importance. Explanation is given by teacher. So object in the active voice became subject in the passive voice and the subject became object. Now let us know how to convert from active voice to passive voice. When the sentence is there in the simple past tense. Rajesh drove a car. In this sentence, subject is Rajesh, drove is the verb which is there in simple past tense and a car is object. And while converting from active to passive voice, we have to make object as subject. A car will become the subject and if this is singular, we should use was and if it is a plural, we should use were. And after that, we have to use past participle form of the verb. Remember, always we have to use past participle form of the verb in the passive voice. So, a car was driven by Rajesh. He received a parcel. Here, subject is he and object is a parcel. We have to make a parcel as subject in the passive voice. A parcel was received by him. Because a parcel is singular, we have to use was. If it is plural, we have to use were. After that, past participle form of the verb must be used. While converting a sentence in simple past tense from active voice to passive voice. Let's know how to convert active voice into passive voice when a sentence is there in the simple present tense. The children like chocolates. Here, the subject is the children and object is chocolates. And we have to make chocolates as subject in the passive voice. Chocolates are liked by children. Because the verb is there in the present tense, we have to use is or are. If it is singular, we should use is. If it is plural, we should use are plus past participle form of the verb while converting from active voice to passive voice. So, chocolates are liked by children. He reads a book. He is the subject and a book is the object. Then we have to make object as subject. A book is read by him. So we have to use is because a book is singular. And past participle form of reads is read. Now let us know the conversion from active voice to passive voice when the sentence is there in simple future tense. My friends will visit IMAX tomorrow. So here subject is my friends and object is IMAX. So IMAX will become object in the passive voice. IMAX will be visited by my friends tomorrow. And while converting like this, we have to use will plus be plus past participle form of the verb when we are converting simple future tense into passive voice. The chef will bake a delicious soup. Here, the subject is the chef and the object is a delicious soup. So, we have to make a delicious soup as subject in the passive voice. A delicious soup will be made by the chef. Let us know how to convert a sentence from active voice to passive voice when the sentence is there in present continuous tense. For example, the children are playing cricket. Here, subject is the children and object is cricket. We have to make object as subject. That is, cricket will become subject in the passive voice. Cricket is being played by the children. Here we have to use is or are. If cricket is singular, so we will be using is plus being plus past participle form of the verb, that is played. So, when the sentence is there in the continuous tense, a word being is a must in the passive voice. We have to remember this. But we have to use is or are in the present tense. That is present continuous tense. Cricket is being played by the children. He is reading a book. He is the subject here and a book is the object. Then when we convert it into passive voice, a book will become the subject. A book is and being read by him. Now let us know how to convert a sentence which is there in past continuous tense to passive voice. Rajesh was driving a car. Here, the subject is Rajesh and object is a car. We have to make a car as a subject of the passive voice. A car was being driven by Rajesh. After making it as a subject, we have to write was or were according to the subject. That means a car is singular, so I am using was. If it is plural, I can use were plus being we have to use and past participle form of the verb. A car was being driven by Rajesh. He was making a portrait. Here, subject is he and object is a portrait. Then, a portrait will become the subject of the passive voice. A portrait and was. We have to use was because a portrait is singular. Was plus being plus past participle form of the verb. That is, a portrait was being made by him. Let us know how to convert active voice into passive voice when a sentence is there in present perfect tense. For example, they have completed the project. Here, subject is they and object is the project. In the passive voice, the project would become the subject. And after this, we have to use has or have according to the subject. That is, the project is singular, so I am using has. If it is plural, I have to use have plus been plus past participle form of the verb. This is the way to convert present perfect tense into passive voice. The project has been completed by them. He has read a book. Here, subject is he and the object is a book. A book has been read by him. A book is singular, so I am using has plus been plus past participle form of read. By him. A book has been read by him. Now, let us know how to convert active voice into passive voice when a sentence is there in past perfect tense. Dinesh had paid the fees completely. Here, Dinesh is the subject and the fees is the object. And the fees will become subject of the passive voice. The fees. After that, we have to use had. For singular and plural, we can use had in the past perfect tense. Had plus been plus past participle form of the verb should be used while converting a sentence in past perfect tense into passive voice. The fees had been paid completely by Dinesh. Ritu had looked at the picture. Here, Ritu is the subject and the picture is the object. And while converting it into passive voice, we have to make the picture as subject. The picture had been looked by Ritu. So after had we have to use been and we have to use past participle form of the verb which is given in the sentence to convert it into passive voice. Now, let us see how to convert active voice into passive voice when a sentence is there in future perfect tense. Tanish will have understood the mistake. Here, Tanish is the subject and the mistake is the object. So, the mistake will become subject of the passive voice. The mistake, after that we have to write will plus have plus been. Will have been plus past participle form of the verb which is given in the sentence. So will have been understood by Tanish. The mistake will have been understood by Tanish. This is the way we have to convert. They will have reached the target. Here the subject is they and object is the target. We have to make the target as subject in the passive voice. The target, after that we have to use will, have, been and past participle form of the verb, that is reached by them. The target will have been reached by them. So this will have been plus past participle form of the verb we have to remember while converting from active to passive voice when sentence is there in future perfect tense. We have to remember one thing, that is, when sentences are there in these tenses, in the following tenses, they will not have passive voice. These particular tenses will not have sentences in the passive voice. We can't convert them into passive voice. Those are future continuous tense, present perfect continuous tense, past perfect continuous tense, and future perfect continuous tense. Now, let us know how to convert active into passive voice when a sentence is having modal auxiliaries, that is, can, could, shall, should, may, might, etc. He can win the prize. Here, the modal auxiliary used is can. So we have to make object as the subject, that is the prize, and subject as the object, that is he. He is the subject in the active voice, that should become the object. So the prize can be won by him. We have to use the same can, but after that we should use be, can be. After that, past participle form of the verb should be used, that is won, can be won by him. The prize can be won by him. You must send a reply. Here the subject is you and object is a reply. And when we are converting into passive voice, a reply will become the subject. After that, same modal auxiliary we should use, that is must plus be plus past participle form of the verb, that is send, sent, sent, that is sent by you. A reply must be sent by you. Let's know how to convert active voice into passive voice in the imperative sentences. Never tell a lie. I can convert it like this. Let a lie never be told. So in the first sentence, a lie is the object and it is become the subject in the passive voice. Please help the poor. So if it is a request, we can convert it to like that. That is, you are requested to help the poor. Now, let us know how to convert active voice into passive voice when in interrogative sentences. Why are you giving complaints? Here, you is the subject and complaints is the object. So we can convert like this. Why are complaints being given by you? We are using being in the passive voice because the sentence is there in the continuous tense. And we should not change the tense, so we are using are. So present continuous tense question is there and passive voice also should be in the present continuous tense only. Why are complaints being given by you? This is in the passive voice. Have you completed the work? Here, subject is you and object is the work. And we have to make the work as object in the passive voice. Has the work been completed by you? This is the sentence in the passive voice. Thank you very much for watching my video.